Hello students, let us learn about information and communication technology, concept and special significance for teaching, learning of the visually impaired. ICT in the educative process. Information and communication technology, in short ICT, means getting information and other facilities from the modern and advanced scientific discoveries and technologies. Technology eases human endeavors and saves time and productivity to a great extent. The use of information and communication technology in the educative process can be classified into two broad categories, that is ICT as a technical resource and ICT as a teaching and learning tools. ICT for education focuses the development of information and communication technology, specifically for teaching, learning and purpose. While ICT in education indicates the adaptation of general components of information and communication technology as a teaching and learning tools. The field of education has been affected by ICTs, which have undoubtedly affected teaching, learning and research, said by Yusuf in 2005. ICT have the potential to accelerate, enrich and deepen skills, to motivate and engage students, to help relate school experience to work practices, create economic viability for tomorrow's workers, as well as strengthening teaching and helping the school change. Prior to ICT, visually impaired students were separated inside a small bubble of connection and communication and were able to connect with those who read and wrote in Braille. Education has become incredibly diversified in the last nearly 10 years, especially due to technological advances such as ICT. From the Braille days, they were already in a blur of disparity with the rest of learners across the world. ICT has bridged the gap of knowledge for them today. Now we are going to see about ICT as effective tool to teachers. In this age of ICT, conducting an ICT class can be very effective skill for teachers. It is very modern application too. Teachers are often busy and may need to travel home and abroad, both for personal and professional purposes. In this scenario, a teacher can easily take a class by using video calling software like Skype or IMO for making a video conference to be projected in the whiteboard. So, a teacher would be able to conduct the class and students would not be deprived of classes. Similarly, teachers make tables and charts using Microsoft Excel. They can make their work more organized and easier. Teachers can easily do this by using Microsoft Word. Adapting to these technologies is the added challenge in the classroom, especially for visually impaired learners. These learners have both the difficulties of facing classroom that are not suited to them. It can be one of the principal roles of ICT that visually impaired students need information and communication technologies to bridge the gap from the classroom to the rest of the world. Let us see ICT as tools to teach visually impaired learners. Teachers have a great role in teaching visually impaired students. They can enable and help them not only in the classroom but also outside the classroom by the effective use of ICT. The students with visually impairment will benefit from the use of information and communication technology through inclusive education system and how ICT influences to teaching strategies of a teacher in school. ICT plays a significant role in teaching visually impaired students in the classroom. Also, creating an audio book can be another significant skill to the teacher, which will benefit the visually impaired students greatly because they cannot read printed books. ICT makes teacher interaction with the visually impaired students easier. They can get to know concept easily from the projector. It gives teachers a great benefit to display things, usually taking software. It gives teachers a great benefit to display things using talking software-based projectors. They can give their point of view to the students by using sound-based PowerPoint presentation. With the help of ICT support, they can assess their knowledge and facilitate them into classroom. They can make them involved in classroom activities. During presentation, teachers may involve visually impaired students into the discussion, ask them relevant questions, and similarly, the students can ask their queries back. This is how ICT helps to connect themselves into the discussion. Teachers can give soft copies of class lectures to the students. They can easily take it to their home by pen drive and utilize it whenever they wish to do. Email is another helpful tool for communicating visually impaired students. Teachers can easily send the soft copies of lecture, ebook and audio files to the students for their advantages. Moreover, using social media website can be highly advantageous for the teachers. Facebook groups can be created where study materials like soft copies, website links can be uploaded. Students can easily get access to these things. They can discuss among themselves where teachers can give his expert opinion for correction and modification. For these reasons, teachers need to have these ICT skills for facilitating the whole learning process. Teachers may dictate while writing on the board and then the student may record it using smartphone. Teachers must be very liberal to allow visually impaired students to record their necessary lectures. Also, teachers can read out loudly whatever he writes on the board so that visually impaired students can listen to it and understand their lesson by using highly active auditory sense. The students can use notebook or write the lectures of the teacher. By having ICT, they can participate easily so the teacher won't have any objection. Let us see visually impaired learners using ICT. Visually impaired learners can use ICT tools like recorder, talking keyboards, job access with speech, talkback soft copies of textbook and internet in the classroom. These tools not only assist them in their classroom activities but also assist in preparing lessons, making assignments and enriching their exams. Moreover, they can contact their teacher by using email and phone calls. They can record the class lecture by using recorder, take notes using talking keyboards, read soft copies of text, collect abundance of information from websites like Google and Wikipedia. Thus, ICT is enabling visually impaired students to learn quite comfortably by making their learning process easier and learning tools accessible to them. ICT has brought a blazing ray of hope and optimism of complete education in the life of visually impaired students. Let us discuss the teacher's role in teaching ICT to visually impaired students. Visually impaired students should be give more support in their education. It is a major duty of the concerned teachers to take care of the disadvantaged students. They should always keep the visually impaired students in head while lecturing or preparing lessons that they can easily understand the lessons. They should also encourage them to participate more in classroom as they may feel demotivated in the classroom because of their disability. Also, they should take care of lecture speed as visually impaired students very often find it difficult to keep pace with the high pace and to understand and take notes of the lessons. Teachers are also to ensure whether visually impaired students are well equipped with the necessary ICT tools. Now we are going to see teachers' skill to apply ICT. Teachers' responsibility not only be confined in confirming the adequate tools, but also they should take care of successful, effective and maximum use of these tools. As responsible teachers, they may also provide them available soft copies of books and essential notes. For this purpose, teachers need to have some ICT skills. The application of ICT to improve the learning of visually impaired and their wider access, the teachers need more expensive and qualification to be enriched continuously. So the teachers can provide expert knowledge, guidance and professional advice on individual basis. Special programs to train the teachers handling special needs children is of paramount importance that will keep the staff informed on progressive invention and abreast with world development. Moreover, they need to be very sensitive to the visually impaired students and take care of their inconveniences. In this regard, in a research conducted by Institute for Information Technologies in Education of UNESCO at 2006, finds various necessary skills for the teachers. Teachers need to be able to help the students become collaborative, problem-solving and creative learners. Through ICT, they will be effective citizens and members of the workforce. For facilitating ICT support, teachers need to have high skills. For this purpose, They need to have proper training as well as motivated and enthusiastic. Let us see about using software by visually impaired learners. ICT can play a vital role in enabling students with a visual impairment access the curriculum and learning. Software can be used to support the needs of students with a visual impairment. The following topic describes the example of software used by visually impaired learners. The first one is accessibility option. Both Windows and Macintosh operating system have similar built-in option to support students with special needs. These accessibility options allow the user to adjust the keyboard response, mouse movement, and the screen appearance along with some other features. For students with visual impairment, it is possible to change the font, the color of the letters, and the background. The use of mouse pointer and pull-down windows on screen can present problem. But Windows now offer a choice of mouse pointer that includes some with pointer trails which are easier to follow and high contrast color schemes. Where the use of mouse pointer still presents a problem, keyboard equivalents can be used. A list of keyboard equivalents can be found in the help menu of most programs under keyboard equivalents. The second one is about screen magnification system. The system increases the size of the text or image displayed on the monitor. Thus, only a part of the screen can be seen at any one time. This area will move around as the mouse is moved. Various extra features can be present including the constant monitoring of one area of the screen. When images are magnified greatly, the edges may have a jagged appearance. Some programs can smooth this, although many of the computer operating systems have built-in magnification option and these options do not have all the features of specialized software. The third one is about screen reading program. This type of program allows a document on screen to be read out loud by a computer. It can normally process letter by letter, word by word or line by line. Selected parts of the screen or full pages can be read black. It works with a document already created or the user is creating a document. Programs of this nature should also be capable of recognizing dialog boxes, menus and operating commands such as startup, log off as well as text document and web pages. The fourth one is about optical character recognition software, in short OCR. This type of software is usually used in conjunction with a scanner. It reads the text on a page and converts it to digital format to be displayed on the screen. Most of these programs can import the text on the page that is scanned directly into most word processing programs, allowing the user to edit and alter the document. Text from a book, magazine, newspaper or documents can be scanned directly into the word processor and then be adapted and altered to suit users' own needs. The fifth one is about optical braille recognition, in short OBR. This software works with a standard flatbed scanner and allows document in braille to be scanned and translated into print. The scanned document can also be replicated using braille embosser, that is braille printer. The next one is about braille translation program. Braille translation software converts a printed document on screen to a format which is then embossed on a braille printer. Although very efficient when translating straightforward English text, mathematics and science symbolic are more difficult to handle, particularly as the code used in mathematics in USA is different from that used in Ireland and UK. The main foreign languages taught in Irish school can be translated into Braille by this type of software. But different programs can lead to different variations of the Braille language where accented characters are concerned. The next heading is classroom management issue. Teachers should make themselves aware of general tips for facilitating students with visual impairment in the classroom, such as saying who you are when you enter a room, indicating your name and there before you address a student with prior vision, and encouraging a class to indicate their name before speaking. In relation to ICT, computers are highly visual and concentration required by the students with sight difficulties to complete basic tasks can be tiring. Environmental factors such as light can be problematic. Planning for ICT requires the teachers to minimize these factors. Below are some classroom management tips that may be helpful in the integration of ICT for students with visual impairment. When arranging the layout of ICT in the classroom, pay due consideration to the specific needs of any students with sight difficulties. Check with your student about the best position for them, with backlighting in shade with task lighting. Avoid too much light reflection on the computer screen. Ensure background noise is kept to a minimum. Example, close door, switch off electrical equipments, and ensure all the students use headphones. Note that rooms with soft furnishing tend to reduce echo. Using ICT as a tool, introduce many new technical terms. A prepared list of these words would be beneficial to both students and teachers. Work through keywords with students and give them this list as a Word document. If showing films, videos, and some interactive software program, talk through what does not have commentary. Benefits of using ICT. The students who have visual impairment, ICT can be used to provide direct access, compensate more difficulties or disabilities, facilitate independence, develop skills and concepts, access the curriculum, communicate with others, and access information. The complicated journey of adapting to the use of ICT has its ups and downs. However, teachers all over the world are slowly making strides towards a better tomorrow. Nowadays, ICT has become a pressing need for visually impaired people to engage themselves in the regular classroom. It is quite possible to provide them with education without keeping them segregated. There are still strides to be made so that all knowledge online and elsewhere can be truly accessible for them. Thank you.